Babu's Game Room.
Alright, hello everyone. It is just Chris here. I am back with some more Pokemon, and I am in Saffron City because I am going to go through the Silph Co building. And once again, I am going to go through it in one go without healing, and hopefully without dying this time like I did back on that really long Super 3-in-1 route thing. So, very briefly, here is my team here. I've got Oftrials, my Shelter, who has an Ice-type Aurora Beam. Pibble, my Dug Trio, who has Dig. Snoozely, my Hypno, with Psychic attacks. Ripper is my Scyther, super strong, super fast with his Slash attack. And I've also got Stinger and Florian, who have been staples in my team for a long time. My strategy for today is to go through the entire building from bottom to top, beating all the trainers on the way, then get the card key, and then do the same thing, beat all the trainers again, and then go and make for my final kill. Now, this is why I've been leading with Oftrials here. Ooh, I forgot how fast Golbats are. Hopefully this won't be a problem. Now, because it is a dungeon of sorts and not a gym, I will be using items, especially if this hurts Oftrials here. Oh, it didn't. Okay. But now he might get hurt because Screech is bad. Anyways, I will be using items because this is a ridiculous amount of battles to do in one go. So I know that I wouldn't be able to do that without even using any items. Now, there is a healing person in here, and I think I will take advantage of that just because there are some really tough battles at the end. Or maybe I'll do it at the very end. That'll be a little bit more exciting, but I'll see how my team is doing. So, I don't have any Pokemon that I particularly want to level up, but I'm going to be happy every time that one of them levels up, like that right now. Except for Oftrials, my Shelter, because I want to get him to a high enough level to learn some good attacks before I evolve him, because as a Stone Evolution Pokemon, he will stop learning moves entirely when I evolve him. Oh, come on, it's only level 25. So I need him to learn everything before I evolve him, which means I need to get him to a super high level just like I've been doing with Twinkle before I put him anywhere near a stone. So I feel like in Generation 1, it's always these first trainers who are the hardest. They try to scare you away from the rest of the dungeon. Yeah, I had a feeling this is going to happen. Okay. I come in with high hopes and thinking everything is going to go smoothly, and then I battle the first trainer and then everything goes poorly. Yeah. Oh, wow. Ripper. Come on, was that a 1 in 256 chance of missing? Okay, anyways, Ripper is super fast, and apparently he has pretty good defense too. So that's pretty nice. Okay. So I've got some fresh waters, I've got some lemonades, I think. I've got some full heals. Let's see what I have with me. I have some status healers, some extra items I can throw out in case anything happens. Okay, I've got plenty of fresh waters here. It's kind of a waste, I think, but I want Oftrials to be strong enough to fight. So, oh, but he's not going to fight that scientist. He's going to fight this Team Rocket here, and hopefully he will lead with a Zubat. Let's see how it goes. So I was really mulling over what my strategy this time was going to be. Am I going to go to the Fighting Dojo first? Am I going to go to the Silph building first? I couldn't decide for the longest time because I wanted to get my Hitmon from the Fighting Dojo to bring into here to level him up a little bit. But I also wanted to do the two gyms together, the Fighting Dojo and the regular gym, except I have to do this before I'm allowed in to Saffron's real gym. So that wasn't an option either. So I spent a lot of time thinking about which one it would be, and I ended up deciding to go with this one first because I really want to do those two gyms back to back. Now I'm not super worried about Snoozely's power points for confusion here because I have a feeling that he is going to learn a new attack. A new psychic attack that I can replace confusion with, so that'll give me brand new power points. Okay, high-tech transporters, yes. Okay. Is there anyone else here in this block here? Aside from that scientist? Okay, it's scientist time, which means Pibble is going first. Now, I don't think I've ever really talked about my first experiences with Pokemon, and because this is going to be such a long dungeon, I think that's what I'm going to talk about, my first experiences with Pokemon as a kid when it first came to the West. So this was in the early to mid-90s, depending on how you look at it, I don't know, whatever. And anyways, when I was a kid, I was always kind of a generation behind with games because, so my family didn't always have the most money growing up, but my dad was always really into technology and especially gaming and whatnot. And, we had a Genesis and an NES when, they were a generation behind, which is cool, especially when you're a kid, really young. A game is a game. It doesn't matter if it's the newest thing or not. And one of the weird consoles that we ended up having was a CD Amiga 32. And a lot of the Americans who are watching this are going to be like, what is that? What's an Amiga CD32? And that console was never even sold in the US, as I later found out. And not because it was just a crappy console and nobody bought it. It literally was not sold in the US. It was sold in Canada, it was sold in Europe, not in the US. And it probably did better in Canada than it did in the US. Better in Canada than in Europe, to be honest, because computer gaming was bigger in Europe, and it was basically just an Amiga computer turned into a console. And I remember it kind of being crappy, but it was too many Raticates. But it was a CD-based console, which was really cool, just for the novelty of it, because again, this was in the mid-90s when I had access to a Genesis and an NES. And then, I don't remember the order of everything here, but long story short, there was a game that we had on that console called something like Revenge of the Furries, or Fury of the Furries, or something like that. It sounds like a really awkward name for a game if you think about, what else furries are. But, back then, especially as a kid, you have no idea, right? So it didn't bother me one bit. But in that game, it was like kind of a little platformer where you had these different little furries or something with different abilities, different colors, color-coded. Your fire one could walk through fire. I don't know how, or red one could walk through fire. I don't remember everything. But I remember seeing an ad for Pokemon before Pokemon was a thing. And if you know much about Pokemon, they did this huge kind of viral marketing strategy with Pokemon, where the whole thing was Pokemon is coming. Not it's here, go and buy it. Pokemon is coming to you. It is coming to the West. It is a huge thing, and it is going to explode in popularity. And luckily they were right. It did explode in popularity. But I saw one of those little ads. I feel like it came in an advertisement in a little cheese string pack or something. Can't remember where I found it, but I saw it and it said, this is Pokemon, and there are little creatures that you are going to, get control of. They have different abilities. Some of them can breathe fire, some of them spray water out of their mouths, some of them control electricity. And I was like, wow, this is just like Fury of the Furries, Revenge of the Furies, or whatever that game was called. Except it's going to be so much cooler because they're advertising it in a pack of cheese strings or wherever I found it. And I was like, wow, Mom and Dad, I want to get this game when it comes out, or watch the TV show or whatever it was. It's probably advertising the game. And so my next experience with Pokemon was the anime. When it first aired, I probably watched the season premiere along with anyone else who did back in the day. And I was super excited. You hear the polka rap, and I never liked rap as a kid or now, but it was like this is cool, and it's exciting, and it's interesting. They've got cool music, and even though I didn't like the style of music, I at least recognized that it was popular music. Popular genre. Oh, come on. And 150 or more Pokemon to see, and there's all these different ones. They all look so cool. Geodude, he's a rock. Ooh, Zubat has wing attack. That was terrible. I mean, it was really good, but it's terrible for me. At least that knocked him out. I have to keep that in mind. Stinger does not fight Zubats anymore. Or Cubones. He does not fight Cubones at all. Ooh, at least I can wake up Ripper here. Rip up Waker. So, I mean, if you're watching this video, you obviously know that Pokemon was huge, and you probably know why it was so exciting when we were kids. And it's hard to really put a finger on it, but probably because everybody was doing it. Everybody liked Pokemon, everybody watched it, or played the games, or collected the cards, or whatever. So, I remember that my dad had picked up a Super Game Boy at one point, and, I'd played a few Game Boy games on that. That was how I first played Super Mario Land, and Kirby's Dream Land, and I think that might have been about it for my Game Boy experiences before Pokemon. And it might have been around this time when, my family didn't have a lot of extra spending money, and I really wanted to play Pokemon. Because, it's the game, but I just accepted that it's going to be something that I just can't do. Now, my first experience with the game was that my cousin had it. My cousin brought over his Pokemon Red cartridge, and he had a Game Boy. He did not have a Super Game Boy. Probably Game Boy Color, I don't know. And he brought it over to my house. And this was a huge thing when we were kids because we didn't live in the same city, so we didn't get to see each other that often. So it was really exciting that we get to see each other for that, that one time that season. And we get to try out our games together. And he put Pokemon Red into the Super Game Boy. So he was seeing it with the Super Game Boy Color for the first time, and I was seeing the Pokemon video game for the first time. Now, I'd heard about it, hadn't seen any screenshots, and I had my idea of what it would be, but I didn't have much experience with RPGs at this point. So I couldn't really picture the game of Pokemon when it was being described to me prior to actually seeing it in action. And Snoozely needs a drink here. Yeah, 50 health. These are really overpowered. Anyways, my mind was blown because there was just so much freedom that was afforded to the player. You could walk around anywhere you wanted. There were Pokemon all over the place for you to catch, just, walking around in the grass. And my cousin showed me all the badges that you can see, the gym leader face previews. And I think my parents probably saw how excited I was about every little detail of the game and, how much it related to the show. And, despite that, as much as I wanted it, I begged for birthdays and Christmas and whatnot. But, I guess I had a feeling that I wouldn't be able to play it. I don't know. But, my dad was, even as a kid himself, he was always into technology and everything and always wanted to get, the things that he wants. That's how kids are. They want something, and then when you become an adult, you want to give your kids the things that they want. And even though my parents couldn't afford to pick up a Game Boy, especially when there's already a Super Game Boy, or now that I think about it, it was the game cartridge. It was the game cartridge that wasn't in the budget, which would have been less expensive than a Game Boy. And I guess it just kind of shows how the situation was. But anyways, no, what's this one? I hate how Team Rocket has all these psychic Pokemon. Anyways, my dad was also really computer savvy, and he knew about emulators. And what he ended up doing was getting a Game Boy emulator to run on our computer, which probably wasn't top of the line back then. But, I have no idea how the emulation scene was back in the 90s. I just know that my dad got an emulator running, and he got Pokemon Blue ROM. I don't know if he even got Red and Blue, but I remember playing Blue, and he called me over to the computer to show me what he had and showed me how to start up the program. And he showed me Pokemon Blue. And I watched that same intro that my cousin showed me, all those long weeks ago. Oh, I'm not going to get beaten by this hypno here. I haven't been able to put it to sleep. Anyways, come on. This is kind of funny. Anyways, finally. So I watched that intro. My jaw probably half open, all the way open, dropped to the floor. I don't know, can't remember, because I was staring at that computer screen, that old, fat, blockish monitor, showing me same graphics as a Super Game Boy, showing me that game that I'd been asking my parents for probably every day, knowing how I was back then. And I started up my very own Pokemon game for the first time with my dad's help. And poison gas. I don't need poison gas. And really it was because of my dad getting that all set up for me that got me into Pokemon when I was a kid. I mean, there were so many factors that went into me actually watching the show, and it was a cultural phenomenon, and it was pretty hard to avoid. But that's what got me into the games. And, if I had gotten into them only when I was older, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed them as much. Or if I'd played, more RPGs before Pokemon, wouldn't have been as exciting to me. Everything just happened at the right time because my dad got it set up for me. So if there's anybody watching this and wondering why there's so many Pokemon videos on this channel, you have my dad to thank for that. And I have my dad to thank for, not introducing me, but making available to me a franchise that I would end up loving for years. And I think this is a fitting topic of discussion, considering it's almost June when I'm recording this, and Father's Day is coming up, so I think that's a nice sentiment to have here. There are so many psychic Pokemon here, it is bothering me. So this is why I was worried about this dungeon here, because the Pokemon here are so strong and they have a variety of types. If it was all just one type, it might not be so bad, but Team Rocket, in their final stand here, is smart. Too smart. Oh, confused. Of course. Okay, this is Lemonade territory here. Okay, so this is one of the dungeons that I was most afraid of in the entire run. The other one being the SSN. And after I finish this one, I don't think there's anything for me to be worried about until Victory Road and any of the dungeons where I want to catch a legendary Pokemon from. Okay, I'm gonna see how this goes using a full heal on Stinger, and then I can just give him a fresh water if this goes smoothly. Okay, I'm faster than him too, so this is gonna be fine. Okay, so I'm still really early in this. I haven't at all been keeping track of what floor I'm on. Oh, I'm on the 5th floor? Okay, so I think that means I'm halfway through, but I'm not done this floor yet. And I'm managing, my resources are still fine at least, but I'm really going to have to conserve my dig power points, because I need to use them for Voltorbs and Electrodes. Now Magneton, unless he hits me with some Sonic Booms or other strategies, I might have to just scratch these guys, and I really want Pibble to learn Slash, because I'm pretty sure Dugtrio learns Slash. Will Scratch do much damage? Okay, it's manageable. And Tackle doesn't hurt too much, so I think Scratch is going to be okay for Magnetons. Okay, I forgot to heal up Stinger, so I'm gonna have to sweep this guy with Snoozely in case he has Sledge or something like that. I'm not worried about the poison status, because I've got a ton of antidotes that I bought for fighting Koga. Okay, it's only level 26, so 2 hits maybe? Yeah, 1 hit. But my Confusion power points are running out, so that's kind of scary. Okay, Pibble can do this one. And since it's only a baby Magnemite, I don't think I'll even need to use a Sand Attack on it. Let's see how it goes. I really wish that Pokemon in Generation 1 learned more moves of their own type. I think Diglett and Dugtrio, they're the only ones that learn Dig, and maybe it's Golem, that family. I think they're the only one that learn Earthquake by level up. And you don't have any other ground attacks in the entire game. And then Rock Throw, which is a pretty crappy move, is learned by Geodude and maybe Onix. And if you want Rock Slide or anything, you can't. You gotta use that 1 TM that you get, which I always thought would make for an interesting competitive format. You know how there's all the tiers and Smogon and whatnot, you have your overused, your underused, and everything like that, Ubers, and different ban lists for these different tiers and everything, and I should have put a different Pokemon first, but that's no big deal. But anyways, a Generation 1 tier where it's the rules are legit in-game only, meaning no perfect IVs, because those are impossible to catch in Generation 1. Woo! Critical hit, 1-hit KO, alright. Lame that they always paralyze Stinger though. Okay, Pibble's getting more defense, that's always nice. Okay, anyways. So, in my proposed in-game only team, you can only use the Pokemon's regular level up moves. And if you want to use a move that isn't a level up move, it's limited by the amount of TMs that you can obtain for that move. So if you want Rock Slide or Earthquake, you better be using a Golem, or only one Pokemon with those moves. Because if you look at the move lists for Generation 1 teams on Smogon or anything like that, you will notice that a lot of them have all the same moves. You'll probably find a bunch of Pokemon that have Thunder Wave and or Thunderbolt. You will find tons of Pokemon that have Earthquake or Hyper Beam or, different moves like that. I always forget how many fighting types these stupid Team Rocket guys have here. I really want to use Ripper, but I'm afraid of switching into him and he gets hit with a Karate Chop. But I guess that wouldn't be too big of a deal. Anyways, I think that would be an interesting, if not difficult, to manage competitive format, because you would probably even limit the number of reasonable Pokemon even more than it already is in OU. But it would probably make certain Pokemon rise to prominence, and it would be an interesting kind of strategy Do I give my Earthquake TM to this Pokemon as a coverage move, or do I give it to my ground type who needs coverage? Or, I mean, who needs a stab attack? I always like that one. The little guy is panicking, and then his person beside him says, oh, he's such a coward. Yep. Ah, the simple things in life, right? Okay. So, there is a super difficult battle that is coming up in here. And I hope Oftrials can be fast enough to hurt this Zubat. Yeah, okay, come on, one hit KO. Come on. Oh! It's always the confusion. Come on, Oftrials. Yeah! Oh wait, that was a bad move. Okay, still got him though. Still got him. Okay, I'm counting on you, Oftrials. Come on. Yeah, okay. I really want him to get some levels up. This is a long dungeon here. Yeah, confuse no more. Okay. Oh, Golbat. Golbat is definitely going to be faster. Okay, he is strategizing. I hope he doesn't get a really strong bite in there. Ooh, that's not even a 2-hit KO. Oh, I don't know if I should risk it or not. Oh, his attack fell. So if he gets a critical hit, he'll do less damage and... okay. What? Are we the same speed? I just realized, did Surf miss? Because I think that's another 100% move, and I think that means that twice in this video, I got hit with that 1 in 256 chance of missing a move. And I know that I did not use enough moves for that to be statistically reasonable. Maybe it's just build-up of bad luck over time. Super lame. Come on, game. Help me out here. Yeah, Oftrials, you got this. I've always liked Surf's animation, no matter what generation. I think the older generations are actually my favorite Surf animations. This one and Generation 2. A lot of nostalgia for those because Surf is just such a useful move. I don't know why Team Rocket thinks I'm betraying them. I don't know who they think that I are, who they think that I am. Yeah, I gotta practice my grammar here. Still an English teacher. Okay, so I've got everyone on here. I'm getting a little bit antsy because I don't know how long I've been recording for, and I want to have one recording where I go up to the top, and then another recording where I go through all the doors. Alright, healed up my team. Used a full heal on Stinger to get rid of his paralysis. But I'm starting to run low on resources here, so that's a little bit disconcerting, and this guy has 5 Pokemon. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna need to save 1 dig in case there is an Electrode, and I've only got 6 more. Okay, coughing. Then this is for Stinger, which means that he's not gonna get paralyzed as soon as I send him in. Awesome, no sludge yet. I wish Pin Needle had higher accuracy because it's a really cool move, except if it wasn't for the 85% chance, or 85% accuracy, I'd probably be using it over Twin Needle. Even though statistically speaking, Twin Needle is a better move overall, it's nice to have that extra damage sometimes, but the chance of missing is just too high to make that move useful. Now, I'm just going to scratch my way to victory. Ooh, it's a stupid scientist. He is Thundershocking my Dugtrio. And his tackle is weaker than Sonic Boom, which makes his damage very predictable. Very stupid scientist. He didn't even learn his lesson. Maybe Pibble is a really good actor, and he always acts like it really hurts him whenever he gets hit by Thundershock, or like one of the heads goes under or something, you know, something to fake out the scientist. That is my new headcanon for Pibble and what he's been doing in these battles here. I am satisfied with that. Okay, take down the scientist, Pibble, come on. So I kind of see why there are fewer trainer battles in the newer games. It feels like in each route there is like 3 to 6 trainers in every route, as opposed to the 500 that are in Generation 1. And I think that's because in Generation 1, Pokemon was still very much an RPG, first and foremost. Maybe not first and foremost, it's always been about collection. A lot of RPGs of the time, especially Final Fantasy games, the strategy or the challenge was, oh, did I beat this guy already? Yeah, I think I'm done on this floor, okay. The challenge was to get through an entire dungeon while managing your resources. So, managing your MP for your spells and whatnot, and managing your healing items, managing your tents, managing your power points in Pokemon, all of that, or managing your time, especially in Pokemon. Do you want to go back and heal? Ooh, this is tempting. Okay, I'm gonna give it a try. Come on, Oftrials. Yeah, you're faster. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, anyways, that's the challenge of Pokemon. And over time, that design strategy in games. Oh, and I think that was another one in 256, wasn't it? I think Clamp is supposed to be super accurate. It's not just a clone of Rap with its low accuracy, but I could be wrong. Anyways, that design philosophy has become kind of outdated, and I guess Game Freak wanted to distance themselves from that, where trainer battles became not so much a strain on your resources as they became individual challenges in and of themselves, where each trainer has a chance of, knocking you out. Not completely, but doing some damage to you. Or especially if you're not prepared, I guess they could knock you out. So each individual trainer is made a little bit harder. Oh, Hyperfang, come on, Ripper, you got this, come on. Okay, awesome. So that's gonna do about 50 damage on a critical hit. Now I should be faster than him. Okay, awesome. Raticates are so difficult to fight. I don't know how to fight this Arbok right now, but I just hope it doesn't paralyze me, because I don't have too many full heals. Ooh, no super effective attack. That's fine. Yeah, so, design philosophy difference. Generation 1 and Generation 8. And it's so amazing that we are on Generation 8 now. Okay, this one I will switch to Stinger. I always thought that Pokemon was going to die out at some point, and Game Freak did too. Generation 2 was supposed to be the finale of Pokemon, so to speak. And of course we know how that turned out. And I thought Pokemon was going to die around Generation 3 or Generation 4. Ooh, I don't think it can knock me out, but I'm gonna need a little bit of luck here. Come on, Pin Missile. That's why I don't like Pin Missile. Oh, are you gonna kill Stinger? Okay. I just realized that I have a number of Pokemon who are a higher level than my starter, so I am going to need to change that soon. Oh, Golbats and Raticates. These are my nemesis here. And Hypnos. I still can't get over the fact that Team Rocket has Hypnos. Well, they learn Poison Gas. Okay, they learn Poison Gas, fine. But I can't get over the fact that they have Machops and Machokes, which aren't that tough to fight. So I can get over that fact, I guess. It just bothers me that they have so much type variety, because I always assume that they just have Poison-type Pokemon and Raticates, and then they have something more. And I'm not prepared for it, or I'm barely prepared for it. But I'm going to need to use some healing items here. I'm doing okay so far. I have lots of lemonades. I am almost out of fresh waters though, which I've been using for kind of little healing, but I think I've got enough to take me through the whole thing. Now, it is going to be very soon that I cash in my money, what I'm going to be using my money for, which is the special Pokemon prize at the Game Corner that costs the maximum number of coins possible, which is so frustrating, especially because Safia is playing Pokemon Blue so that she could catch a Vulpix of her own, but I didn't realize how much we'd be trading. And okay, Electrode, I've got my dig here, feeling confident now. I'm faster, awesome. And because we didn't trade Pokemon, she... Oh, Bubble, that's nice. She didn't get to use it because since it's not traded, it doesn't gain as much experience as quickly, and she already has a fire type with her Chari, and that was pretty much the whole reason why she's playing Blue and I'm playing Red. And I wanted to play Blue because that was my first Pokemon game, like I mentioned earlier, and because it's easier to buy Porygon from the Game Corner. Significantly easier to buy Porygon from the Game Corner. But that's just the way that it played out, so I'm stuck with the Red version. I'm stuck with needing a whole bunch of money, and there's my rival, Kevin. Stuck with needing a whole bunch of money to get the Pokemon that I want. So that's what makes these no healing runs a little bit exciting, I guess, is that, if I lose big chunk of my money, which has always been super disappointing every time that's happened. Okay. Still not the top. Okay, I think after this battle I am going to do some recording cycling because getting a little bit antsy about the recording glitching out. I don't know how long this has been, but this is a super huge dungeon and I've been at this for a while today. So I have so many challenges here. I can't heal my Pokemon at the POKECENTER, can't use the same Pokemon that Safia uses all the time, Oh, I got him in one hit. That was nice. Okay. And I'm worried about the recording glitching out on me. Trying to do it all in one go. Got my hard drive space that I'm worried about because I keep all of the videos either here on my laptop or on backup. I've just got so many challenges here, and that's what makes this exciting. Yeah, Oftrials. Yeah, he is my MVP. I really like him, and I was considering using, I should have used Tackle, but that's okay. Ooh, okay, maybe Clamp does have the same accuracy as Wrap. That's no big deal, because it's a water type Wrap, so that's awesome. Ooh. Let's see how Surf does. Ooh, maybe that was a little bit risky, but I think Raticates has a super low special stat, so this might be okay. Yeah. I was considering using a Jinx for my Ice type. I probably will use a Jinx as well, just because Jinx is so funny. Oh, here we go. Okay. And let's save, or let's see what's upstairs. No, I can't. Can't risk it. Okay. Save the game, cycle the recording, and I will be right back, everyone. All right, back here. No end in sight. And it feels like it's going to take forever. So, you guys might be wondering, you guys are in Korea for a limited time. Why are you wasting your time recording a Let's Play of Pokemon? Not just one, but 2 Let's Plays of Pokemon, where you each have like 40 hours of gameplay. I just checked, because I saved. and the answer to that is because, especially now, because there is coronavirus out there. And we would love to be able to go and spend more time outside and enjoying the sights, seeing all the things that Korea has to offer, eating all of the delicious food that we are missing out on. We don't have much of a choice right now. I mean, we do, but I'd like to think that we are making the smart choice out of the choices that we have. Now, some places have been locked down completely, but Korea is definitely not like that in terms of what it's doing to combat the virus. Schools had been closed, but now they're open again. My personal theory is because parents just got tired of their kids. And, cases have been spiking back up again, probably partially because of that, which is really disappointing because there were 0 cases in Korea for, it felt like almost a week, and then they opened up schools instead of, pushing them back a couple of weeks to wait until the virus completely died out in the country, virtually, I guess. I don't know if that really would have happened, but they didn't make the decision, and now instead of 0 cases, there are like 50 new cases every day, which might sound like really small numbers, but it's a big jump from 0, and especially before they were at 0, they were at like 5 cases, 2 cases, 3 cases, single-digit numbers, and then 0 for a long time, and then they opened up schools. And the worst part is, and this is just kind of a personal theory, for me, I think the worst part is that the first outbreak happened at nightclubs. And first of all, like in most of the rest of the world, or at least a lot of the rest of the world, the clubs shouldn't have been open in the first place. But it's the kind of club that it happened in. It happened in a gay club in the Foreigner District. Now, I'm in a bad position here. Okay, Pibble, I'm gonna need you to take that hit. Don't explode. Yeah! Okay, now Pibble, I need you to go super fast. Super fast, Pibble. Okay, so it happened in a gay club in the Foreigner District. Now, in my eyes, the Foreigner District isn't a place where foreigners go out and party necessarily. Foreigners go out and party in all over the capital, in a lot of major districts like Gangnam and Hongdae, lots of places. Itaewon is where you can see a lot of Koreans and a lot of foreign restaurants. Now, you do see a lot of foreigners there, but it's not like only foreigners go there. And it's not the only place that foreigners go either. But that effectively turned foreigners and homosexuals, unfortunately, into fair targets, I guess you could say, for being blamed for the coronavirus outbreak, which completely ignores the fact that it was a Korean person who unknowingly had the virus and went there spreading it accidentally. And of course it's, the other that gets blamed, which is the same thing that you'll see, anywhere else in the world fairly often. It's always the one that is different who gets blamed for any kind of problem like that. Sad reality, I guess. But I think that has really contributed to people here feeling safer than they really should feel. There are fewer people wearing masks outside, even though the government has been starting to mandate them in certain places. Anywhere that they're not mandated, people have become really lax about them. And not just the masks, but also just there is no social distancing that's happening right now. It seems to be more of a personal choice. Some people are social distancing and some people aren't social distancing. And, just comparing it this year to last year, I would say very, very few people are social distancing right now. There are so many people that are out and about sitting down at restaurants and chatting, and I think a lot of people feel safe because, as one of my coworkers mentioned to me, the outbreak happened at a club that's not for normal, her words, not mine, or not for regular people. Can't remember the exact word, but basically that's what it was. And I think a lot of people here are feeling invincible because the country started off great. It was one of the leading countries in terms of the response, and internationally I think a lot of people knew that about Korea, and now Korea's not does not have the best response or the best results anymore, but they do have the benefit of having their businesses open, which is kind of strange to me because the last outbreak was caused by clubs and bars being open, and the government has once again, quote, strongly recommended that bars and restaurants close. But they're not providing any incentive for bars and clubs to close. One way or the other, they're not willing to provide any compensation for the loss of income, the loss of salaries for the employees. That liability would be 100% on the business owner that chooses to close, which is the smart and safe thing to do. They're not providing any punishments for ones that don't close. So basically all the clubs are just staying open because if they close, well, the competitors are going to get all the money. Same thing if they have any extra rules or anything that would make their club less appealing. They're just going to go to the competitors that don't have those measures that are meant to protect people. So for me personally, I'm kind of worried about there being an extra or another outbreak, another huge one, like what put Korea in the news with the church that was spreading the disease everywhere, and all those people were spreading it to their friends and family, and I'm worried about that happening again. Except now it's going to be at schools, and it's going to be in places like where I work, where they're not so much schools that are government regulated, but are, private after-school schools, academies. I'm running out of PowerPoints for Snoozely. That's disconcerting. Okay, I need to save one headbutt for my rival battle. Okay. And the students are going to get it. And I'm not worried about the students getting it because the disease doesn't tend to be so bad for young people. But what's bad about that is that they're often asymptomatic, don't show any symptoms at all, and they have the disease and they can transmit it to other people, like me, like the other teachers at the academy, like their elderly grandparents that babysit them and whatnot. And it's not even like it's just me that I'm worried about. That's going to happen at another academy, at another school, and things could end up going very badly throughout the whole country, which is going to make it even harder to get home. I mean, Safia and I have already kind of accepted that most of the reason that we came to teach abroad in Korea is already gone. We wanted to come to Asia so we could travel to different countries. And part of the reason why we chose Korea is because it's close to Japan, pays a little bit better, and, we have other connections to Korea as well, personal connections. But it's also close enough to Japan that we could go travel there, so we don't have to be in Japan, teaching in Japan, but still get the benefit of being able to travel there. That's completely out the window because for political reasons and coronavirus reasons, Japan has blocked anybody who has been to Korea, like this year, 2020, from entering Japan. And there's no, they haven't said, this is until July or September or whatever, nothing like that. They just said, this is indefinite. If you've been to Korea or Italy or China, can't get into Japan. And even if that wasn't in place, it wouldn't make a difference because anyone coming in to Korea has to be quarantined for 2 weeks upon return. And, that means for us not going in to work. And we can't take 2 weeks of vacation at all, let alone in addition to whatever amount of time we want to spend outside of the country. Literally impossible. So even if we found another country that we wanted to travel to that doesn't have some crazy kind of restrictions like Japan has. Not going to do us any good because of the quarantine that we'd have to do on our way back into the country. And it's going to make it difficult when we go back home too, because how do we do that? I think in Canada too, there is a mandatory quarantine when somebody's coming back from the country, back into the country, I mean, and we don't have permanent homes there because we're living in Korea now. And, you know, what do? Do we take a taxi when we get back? But then we're exposing the taxi driver. Maybe they have something set up. We'll figure that out later. It's just a really awkward headache. And, you know, our contract is ending soon. We're going to have to go back soon. Running out of time. I don't know. It's really disappointing. But, I mean, overall, we've been, you know, really lucky, thankfully, with in terms of our families and our friends and whatnot. You know, people have been safe from the virus, knock on wood, so far. And we've been safe from the virus so far. But, I don't know. To me, it's been bothering me how a lot of people haven't been taking it seriously, especially in Korea here. And not that I'm blaming them. I mean, nobody really knows what to do. Nobody really knows what the best solution is, and there's no predicting what can or will happen. But and I like I said, I know a lot of people have it worse than us, but it's just frustrating. You know, it might be once in a lifetime opportunity for us to be here teaching English in Korea, and you know, it's been pretty much wasted in terms of the last year. You know, we thought first year we'll save up the money and we'll use some of that for traveling, and second year is when we'll do our traveling. But you know, obviously impossible. And I'm just glad that I like traveling and I plan on traveling in the future, because that opens up the possibility for me coming back to Asia. But you can just imagine if somebody else was in my shoes, where they don't travel often, and this literally was a once in a lifetime thing, and they wanted to see all of Asia and whatnot, and now they can't. That would be heartbreaking. But because of this, the whole situation, now I guess in my long-term 10-year plan, I want to say somewhere within that time period, I probably want to teach English in Japan this time. So my friends that are watching this, if you're watching this, apologize, but didn't get to do all my traveling. So I'm going to have to do this, leaving for a couple years again sometime in the future to see more of the world without spending $2,000 on a round-trip plane ticket. All right, well, I've beaten all the trainers up the tower building, and now it is time to get the card key. I don't remember what floor that is on, but as soon as I do that, I will cycle the recording again. I think this is a good point to call it a day for the episode, because this is longer than I thought it would be. So everyone, I want to thank you so much for watching, especially for watching my Let's Play, because I know Safia's is a lot more popular. So again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys watching. Really appreciate your guys' feedback and comments and everything. So thank you for that. Thank you for everyone who hit the subscribe button there. And that's all I got to say. So I will see you guys next time when I get the card key. Have an awesome day and an awesome week.